Coming up, we're going to talk about Daredevil in the MCU, a new Spider-Man movie, plus much more. But before we get into any of that, make sure you do hit that subscribe button to keep up with the latest Disney Plus news. Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's on DisneyPlus.com. It's Monday, it's time to jump into some of today's big Disney Plus news, and we've got a few little things with regards to Marvel today, which is quite interesting. So up first, Cineblend recently did an interview with Kevin Feige with regards to the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home film, and he kind of revealed that Charlie Cox is going to be returning to be playing Daredevil in the MCU. Now, it might be a little bit different. He went on to say, if you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be that actor playing Daredevil. Where we see it, how we see it, when we see that, remains to be seen. So obviously with this, he's playing a little bit into the idea of Spider-Man No Way Home, which comes out obviously next week. I saw the interview, you're kind of laughing and joking about it. I mean, this has been rumoured for a long time that Daredevil was going to be appearing in this upcoming movie. Now, we're not sure if it's going to be Daredevil or it's going to be Matt Murdock. A lot of speculation that he's going to end up being the lawyer for Peter Parker. There's also been a lot of speculation that we're going to see Matt Murdock also in the She-Hulk series. And then also, most recently, in the new Echo series, which is a spin-off of Hawkeye, which is also kind of tying in with Daredevil because they're teasing Kingpin is set to arrive at any given point. And I'm guessing with either in the next 2 to 3 weeks we're going to see Kingpin, and then next week we're probably going to see Matt Murdock in the MCU. This is kind of at that point now where they can no longer really hide it. They're trying to do surprises, but the cat's really out the bag now. There's so much going on with so many different things. But it's great to see this one. I really enjoyed Charlie Cox as Daredevil. How they're going to do it, I don't know. It might be like a variant, or they might have just used the blip as a way of kind of retelling it. Generally, up till now, Marvel has been very much along the idea of what Marvel Studios didn't make, didn't really happen, and they've kind of tried to stay away from it all. But I think with the multiverse now, it's opened everything up, and they can have a little bit more fun with it and acknowledge what they own and what they've done in the past. And also, you know, as far as I was concerned, Daredevil and all the rest of it was part of the MCU. They referenced what happened in New York in the Avengers movie. And it just makes sense. He's, you know, an incredible actor. Now that that 2-year contract with Netflix is kind of finished, you know, why not bring them in? And yeah, hopefully we see more of this. But Kingpin and Daredevil for me that was the main reason I got Netflix. But what do you think of this? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. In another interview with Screen Rant, Kevin Feige also confirmed that they're going to be making some new announcements pretty soon. He said there will be news, there'll be various events. Obviously with the pandemic, the way we've announced things has changed and altered. And in some ways that's been good because it's kept the focus on what's next. It's kept the focus on what projects as they come out, and certainly the anticipation for No Way Home, I would say, is as big as anything we felt before, which is good timing as the movie's about to come out. Now obviously in the last year they've had to delay movies a year, they've had to delay some of the Disney Plus series. Also, they've not been able to do the big events like the D23 or San Diego Comic-Con. But next year, everything is planned to go ahead. Hopefully, obviously, with things keep changing, but I think they want to get back into doing those events. I don't necessarily think, you know, announcing things online and stuff is a bad thing. I do think the way they did stuff at Disney Plus Day, probably they could have done things a little bit better. But nevertheless, we are going to be seeing some more stuff announced pretty soon. You know, they still have got quite a few shows for Disney Plus that they've not announced, like the Werewolf by Night Halloween special that was sort of been rumoured around for a while. That's supposed to be coming out next year. They didn't announce that one. But with lots more projects that's set to come, what would you like to see on Disney Plus? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. In some other news, Sony has released some new footage and a new trailer over the weekend. One of the clips is for Morbius, which is going to be coming to cinemas in January. So it's important to note this one is a Sony Pictures movie, as is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, which is going to be coming out in October 2022, and then the following film will be coming out the following year after that. What I think is interesting about all of this is, obviously, if you're in the United States, these will eventually end up on Disney Plus. It's just going to be a long time away, because they have to do their theatrical releases first off, which is a few months, and then it's going to have to go to Netflix for at least probably around about 18 months for the pay one window. And then from then, Disney can either put it on Hulu or Disney Plus, but probably by then, we're hoping that there's just a one left. So yeah, these movies are also probably interconnected with multiverse and what's going on with the MCU and all the rest of it. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I'm really liking the idea of Spider-Man Across the Multiverse. I really enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse. That was such a fantastic animated movie, and obviously made a load of money, so it makes sense for them to do it again. So yeah, so just nice to see more Marvel stuff. In a quick bit of other news, unfortunately another title has been removed from Disney Plus. Deep Blue was a National Geographic documentary. These things just keep happening. This month has been really bad for removals in the United States. They just keep taking things off. Don't yet know if this one's going to be coming back because it's a little bit more difficult than the normal releases. Normally they're either owned by 20th Century or Disney. This one's actually a Miramax movie, so if it returns, I don't know. It was made by BBC originally. So yeah, it's just, again, just continuing on this trend of a lot of movies being removed. But also yesterday, around the world, except for in the United States, Disney Plus got a brand new documentary, The First Wave, which was all about when the pandemic first hit, and it's set like in New York, and it's all like a documentary. If you're in the United States, you can watch it on Hulu. Haven't got around to watching it yet, but it's on my to-do list for this week. But yeah, let me know what you think of all of that in the comments below. Go check us out over at whatsondisneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Laters. I'd like to thank all of our Patreon and YouTube channel members for their support. You can become a member from as little as $2 a month, and you get access to our weekly Q&A and much more.